Hello, in this video we are going to take a look at methods. So a method is just a way of abstracting code out and just putting it together. You usually put common code together and wrap it in a method, provide some meaningful name, and just allows you to call it again and again, in your application. So this is a method right here, main. This is the main method that is called when you first launch up your application. So you need one of these. We've actually used methods when we've, used stuff to do with strings and various other properties as well. So if you watch the strings or the character videos, then you will probably remember doing methods like, to upper, so like changing all the characters to upper. So that was actually a method. We didn't implement it, but it actually did something. To implement a method is actually really simple. All you gotta do, so if you just put it afterwards, use the keyword public, and we'll go into different keywords for this. But in terms of knowing how methods work, not really that important. This is more when you get on to creating your own classes. At the moment, we're just using the default one. Next, you want the keyword static. Again, this we're just going to glance over this simply because it's going to be useful to explain what it is when we get onto actually making our own classes. So for now, just consider this as a necessity. So the third part is going to be your return type. So the data that is returning. So if we do void like main, then it won't return anything. So I'm going to call this function 1. So that's very well named, even after I said go make sure your functions are well named. And in here, if I do system.out.println, and let's just say if I print 5. If I run it, it doesn't print. You might be thinking, well, why doesn't it print? It's because this code is in a method. Until this method is called somewhere, the code inside of it will not run. So in here, we do function 1 like so, and run it. There we go. It says 5. So let me show you the other type of function. So public static void. So instead of void, we're going to put something else there. You can pretty much use any data type. So it's going to keep it simple and use an int. And I want to call this return function like so. Okay, and this will be moaning. You'll say that it must have a return type, and you can add the return statement, but that doesn't matter at the moment. We can, we'll return our own return statement. So if we do return, let's say 6, for example, so we're returning just a value of 6. Obviously, you would probably have something a bit more than just returning a single value. Probably do some sort of calculation based on what the application is doing. But the principle is like this. This is how you create a method. You can put whatever code you want in here. If you have a return type that's not void, you can return some data, some information of that data type. So if we go here now and put return function, and you might think, why isn't it, nothing's coming out in the console? It's because this is fine with print here. There's no print here. You could add one, but I'm just demonstrating the return statement. And when this is called, at this moment, it's the same thing as writing that. Obviously, that will not run, but it's the same thing as just having the number 6 there. It does nothing. Whereas if we create a new variable, say int I, and I assign it to return function, I'll do system.out.println, and I actually put in I here, we get 6. We could do some sort of calculation. So if I do, let's say 6 times 2, we get 12. Maybe if I do int x equals 8, and then I plus 8 to it. So it'll be 6 times 2, which is 12, plus the 8, which will be 20. I mean, x, sorry, I'm going to put there. It prints out 20 now. So honestly, that is probably it for the basics of functions. Don't really need to know much more than that just to get going. But over the next few videos, we'll cover the few extra little things that you can add to sort of make your function more useful. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. and I'll look forward to seeing you in the next awesome Java video.